Hello, I am a greeter on New Earth. We have an agreement here that whenever a new being appears, we stop what we are doing to offer assistance. I say being rather than person because non-human life forms are also entering this higher frequency version of Earth. In fact, many of the animals and plants that have become extinct on Matrix Earth are alive and well on New Earth. Since all life here is conscious and able to communicate with other life forms, we are able to assist plants, animals, and elementals, as well as humans. It is a wonderful experience for us to be able to communicate with animals, plants, and the sylphs, air elementals, undines, water elementals, gnomes, earth elementals, and salamanders, fire elementals. These wonderful beings do not speak English, as I am doing now, but neither do we. All life on New Earth speaks light language, as it is the language that humans, plants, animals, and elementals have always spoken in the higher dimensions. Hence, we are very pleased when another being joins us on New Earth, and we can instantly communicate with them. It is also an amazing experience for humans, especially the humans who have always felt separate from Mother Nature, to commune with all the plants, animals, and elementals. On the other hand, learning this manner of communication, which we call light language, is one of the biggest challenges for some of the new ones who visit from transmuting Earth. Because we have no time or space here on New Earth, those who visit us from transmuting Earth, which is the version of Gaia that has not yet fully expanded into the fifth dimension, are often surprised that we all speak light language. They try to move their tongues and express separate words in a linear fashion. This manner of communication is appropriate for a time-based reality based on separation and linear thinking. However, that means of communication does not work in a reality that resonates to the here and now. Communication on New Earth, even Threshold New Earth, is a form of communing with each other by merging our consciousness. In this manner, pictures, emotions, and thought forms are automatically transferred to each other, as well as into the group consciousness. In fact, whenever there is a new arrival, their entire history of incarnations in duality is instantly copied to the crystalline field that contains our world. This information also goes into the quantum biological computers that we can all access. In fact, I am communicating with you now via a quantum biological computer. We call them QBCs. When we first come here, we usually access our QBC via an interface within our living quarters. However, as we adapt to our new life, we realize that we can simply direct our thoughts into the group consciousness of the crystalline field and all communications will be instantly available. Since New Earth serves as an interface between the third and fourth dimension and the mid-fifth dimension, there are many devices or machines for the new arrivals to use until they can become comfortable with their own powers, which are quickly activated within our group consciousness. Learning these new forms of communication is their second challenge upon entering our world. Their first challenge is to totally master their every thought and emotion so that they can stay here. When I first arrived here, I often helped visitors from Matrix Earth. My assignment was to assist those who could not master their thoughts and emotions. Therefore, they would arrive here, but were quickly lost in their fear-based emotions and/or thoughts. These fearful thoughts and emotions instantly lowered their resonance back down to the third and fourth dimension, and they disappeared from this reality. When I first returned to Matrix Earth on an assignment, I could not release all the fear-based thoughts and emotions that quickly attached to my consciousness. Then I remembered that fear-based thoughts and emotions are created when we feel limited and/or separate from any person, place, or thing. Once I remembered that fact, I found a quiet place in nature and communed with Gaia herself. As soon as I merged my consciousness with Gaia's planetary consciousness, I returned to the awareness that, within that now, Gaia was returning to her fifth dimensional expression. That experience reminded me how important it was to keep my consciousness calibrated to the now of the One, so that I would not fall back into the third-dimensional illusions of the separation and limitation. When the new ones first come to fifth-dimensional Earth with the habit of separation and limitation, they are often frightened by the overload of collective information that is instantly available to them. There are also many different forms of life here on New Earth, which may frighten them. Furthermore, many visitors are new to the concept of thought transference and still believe that they cannot communicate with different forms of beings. Fortunately, I crossed over here with a group of friends. At first, I lost track of them, as everyone must find their inner fifth-dimensional self before they can perceive fifth-dimensional Earth. But, as soon as I was crossed over, as we call it, I saw my friends. We all hugged, exchanged stories, and comforted each other before any 3D fears or doubts could lower our consciousness. With the support of my friends, I was able to gain a level of mastery over my thoughts and emotions that allowed me to stay here on New Earth. Another thing that can occur when we first enter New Earth is that we suddenly realize that all our thoughts and emotions are shared with the unity consciousness of our world. At first, this realization can frighten us, because we are not yet accustomed to this degree of unity consciousness. The new ones, who cannot find comfort and guidance from their new friends and mentors, may allow fear to lower their consciousness back to the third and fourth dimension. Because of this situation, many of us are using whatever means we can discover to teach possible new ones while they are still in the third and fourth dimension. It is for this reason that I am writing you, the ones who are ready to join us. We know that education and unconditional love are the best ways to heal all fear. Therefore, we have many individual and group meditations that we send to those who are preparing themselves to log out of the 3D matrix. An individual meditation is sent to the 3D one's body while they are still able to tune into our fifth-dimensional group mind. Also, a group meditation is sent to any group of third and fourth-dimensional beings. We are very happy to see that, more and more, humans are inviting animals, plants, and all other third-dimensional life forms to merge with a unified group to receive a message from the fifth-dimensional group mind. The humans of these interspecies groups may, or may not, be aware that there are non-human members in their group who serve to amplify the fifth-dimensional message, as well as ground that higher dimensional energy field deep into the body of Gaia. We want you to know that any form of group mind serves as an open window, or portal, which serves to connect the third and fourth dimensional reality with our fifth dimensional reality. Initially, we, the awakening ones, can only ascend to the halfway frequency mark. This midway mark is a frequency where we can still maintain many concepts, traditions, and habits from our long sojourn into the third and fourth dimension, but we are also becoming increasingly aware of our fifth dimensional reality. In this manner, our adaptation to a totally different concept of life can be gradual. Also, we greatly enjoy this transitional stage, as all we have wished for in our third dimensional realities is instantly experienced while we are on the higher resonance of the transitional frequency, just before the fifth dimension. In fact, we often experience a wonderful healing and inner contentment while this transmutational energy field surrounds us. When we are ready to move on to fifth dimensional New Earth, we will no longer need to have the experiences of separation or limitation that still occurs within our early transitional stages. No matter how we experience this transition, we never perceive a line, or threshold, which divides New Earth from 3D matrix Earth. From our point of view, we perceive that we are in the process of a gradual, or swift, alteration in our thoughts, feelings, states of consciousness, perceptions, and creative forces. For most of us, the adjustment to this reality is an ongoing adventure filled with unconditional love, unity consciousness, and the interdimensional adventures that prepare us to remember our light language. In fact, learning light language is similar to the manner in which we learned to speak 3D language when we were earthbound babies. Learning to communicate with another often begins with looking at each other eye to eye. This visual, eye-to-eye, mental connection often leads to a heart-to-heart, soul connection. One of the most wonderful parts of visiting and/or returning to fifth-dimensional Earth is that we can share all of our incarnations via this manner of eye-to-eye soul connection. This connection usually leads to deep and intimate friendships. As we share our many physical incarnations with each other, we can remember and collect all that we have learned during all our physical lives. Then, we can share this information with Gaia. Yes, on New Earth, even Threshold New Earth, Gaia is a living being with whom we can, and do, communicate on a regular basis. We experience ourselves as the many protectors of New Earth. In fact, we are speaking from the now of the early beginnings of New Earth. So that we don't confuse you, allow us to talk a bit now about living in no time. New, fifth-dimensional Earth is free of the time that created the separation and limitation on third-dimensional Earth. Now, we know that this next part might be pretty confusing, so we will try to make it very clear. Since there is no time and no separation on New Earth, we can all experience any timeline, and be with any person, place, or being, whenever we desire. Since fifth-dimensional Earth is not just a planet. Fifth-dimensional Gaia is a large, living, circular being known as Gaia. To assist with personifying Gaia, we will share that Greek mythology spoke of Gaia as a living, breathing being who is the personification of the earth. According to Greek mythology, Gaia was born of chaos. Others say that as chaos receded, Gaia came into being. Either way, Gaia ruled over confusion in the void of emptiness. In Greek mythology, Gaia became one of the first of the immortals from whom all others sprang. Once, Gaia was held in such veneration that her name was always invoked whenever the later gods took a solemn oath or asked for assistance. However, by the time that Earth was a modern world, most of the educated and modern people thought of the being named Gaia as a myth. These modern people could not perceive, or understand how Gaia, and her planetary body, was a living being. In fact, humanity has often thought of Gaia as merely a planet that was theirs to use and misuse. It was then that Gaia, the heart and soul of planet Earth, knew that if she were to survive, she would need to return to the higher dimensions from which she first descended. Gaia was also aware that the now of the fifth-dimensional light now shining onto her planetary body will greatly assist her planetary body to return to her innate, fifth-dimensional expression. Since the loss of Atlantis and Lemuria, plus the many wars, hostilities, nuclear explosions, HAARP, and years of ruthless pollution, Gaia can wait no longer for humanity to join her in her fifth-dimensional journey home to the fifth dimension. Gaia is aware that if she is to survive as a living, breathing being, she must return to her innate fifth-dimensional frequency. Therefore, Gaia will take her planetary self, Earth, back into the fifth dimension resonance. Because she is your Mother Earth, she invites all of her children, her inhabitants, to ascend their energy field into the resonance of the fifth dimension where they could join her. But can humanity give up their need for power over others, as well as their need to possess all that they perceive? Whether humanity is ready or not, Gaia is transmuting into the innate fifth-dimensional frequency of her planetary self. As this transition continues, only those who can expand their consciousness into the resonance of the fifth dimension will be able to remain in conscious connection with Gaia, as she continues her ascension back to her innate fifth-dimensional, planetary self. Unfortunately, many humans, if not most of humanity, have forgotten that they too are innately fifth-dimensional, and beyond. Life on third-dimensional Earth has been extremely difficult since the ancient loss of Gaia's protective mantle. Then there was Gaia's loss of both Lemuria, then Atlantis, which was followed by the invasion of the many forces of darkness that chose to use Gaia's planet as a format for power over others. Fortunately, higher frequencies of gamma-wave light are now entering Gaia's planetary body. This light is also entering the physical bodies of all her inhabitants. The primitive people, as well as all the animals, birds, fish, even algae, will accompany Gaia on her return trip to the now of the fifth dimension. How many humans will be able to remember that Gaia is a living being? How many humans will join Gaia in her journey home to the fifth dimension? How many humans will be able to perceive and accept the higher light? How many humans will transmute back into their innate, fifth-dimensional light body? How many humans will know that the process of ascension is occurring now? Greeting from New Earth. We all hope that you will join us soon. I am one of the many greeters on New Earth. More about Gaia, from the Internet. Gaia's appearance, a beautiful and voluptuous woman. Sometimes she is shown as half buried in the earth. Symbol or attributes of Gaia, the earth. Fruits. Gaia's strengths: she is a primal mother goddess, complete in herself. Gaia's weaknesses: she brought forth from her own body Uranus, to be her companion. This turned out to be a mixed blessing. Gaia's parents: none. She is born of chaos, but this is not really a birth. As chaos receded, Gaia came into being. Gaia's spouse: Uranus, then Tartarus, Pontus. Children of Gaia: Oceanus, Cous, Craeus, the Titans Hyperion and Iapetus, Theia, Rhea, Themis, Mnemosyne, Phoebe, Tethys, Cronus or Kronos, and the Python of Delphi, among hundreds of others. Some major temple sites of Gaia: she was usually worshipped in the Openoran caves. Delphi was probably one of her main sites in very early times. Gaia's basic story: Gaia was the first deity, from whom all others sprang. But Uranus, her first creation whom she created from her own body, was lustful and cruel to Gaia.